Okay. I'm back live, but I think it'll be a while for people to find this. So I might have to get this link, copy this link for this new live and put it in the events. And we'll see if we can't get some people back, because we were right in the thick of it. Okay. Okay, I think I've got the live going. Has anyone found me? Did I get back to being live, or am I still frozen? If anyone could type in the chat if you found me, if I am in fact coming through. I'm going to put the link of this new live in the event, and then maybe people will find me by going back to the event, and we'll see if that works. Okay, some of us have come back. Excellent. Welcome back, Tina and Judy. Okay, I'm going to put the link of this live in the event. Live link. Paste. Send. I think that'll work, because I posted it in like the original event. Hopefully that works. Hopefully we'll get most of us back. It was weird. It just kind of froze, and then like I tried changing like the Wi-Fi network, didn't work. But this is good. We're giving the background some time to dry. That's always a good thing. A little bit of dry time. Okay. A little bit of dry time so we don't have like too much blue smudged into our orange or green or brown. Oh, good. So Tina got a notification for part 2. Maybe it was like, Artist Palette's live now. That makes sense. If people are like, I suppose like subscribed, they would get notifications for when we go live. Even though we were already live. Yeah, so I put a new live link in the Facebook event, and like even I'm getting notifications about that. So maybe people will find that link. Excellent. I'm going to give people a few more minutes just to find that link. It's still a little bit tacky, a little bit of dry time. Couldn't hurt. Yeah, so mine is all crisscrossy, visible brush strokes, visible canvas texture, some light areas, some dark areas. Even if you like didn't fully mix your paint, like your blue and your white together, and as you were doing it, like patches of light and dark happened on the same brush stroke, that's actually perfect. Yeah, even if you want to just take a little bit of paint on your brush, like a little white or a little baby blue, and like purposefully like add little streaks of white in the blue or blue in the white, just kind of mess it up even more. Make it even more painterly. A little white in the blue, a little blue in the white. Let's get a little blue here. Yeah, maybe I want to do some scraggly blue up here. Give it texture. A little bit of texture. We've got a few people that have found the new live. Good. I'm so glad you guys found me again. yeah, and even if people find the live again in maybe 10 minutes or so, from the beginning by putting the playback back. But we really haven't done anything. We've just been chatting. Okay, just give them a little wipe. Yeah, I mean, most of my background's quite dry. Think about the colors you want to do your dinosaur. It doesn't have to be brown, green, orange, purple, yellow, and teal, like a blue-green. Could be cute. And then depending on how big your dinosaurs are, choose an appropriate brush. So just because I'm using my big brush, let's say, it doesn't mean you have to. You have maybe a different size than I have. So you judge whether you want the big or the medium to fill in your dinosaurs. So I'm going to start, I'll probably start with the green guy in the middle. My nice long neck. I'll probably use my big brush, but you can use your smaller brush. Any shade of green, just because mine is kind of like I would say a shamrock green. Yours could be darker, lighter, any shade of green. Got my brush here, little bit of blue, and a lot of yellow. Blue and yellow is green, but a lot of yellow compared to the amount of blue you want. There's some green. And we need enough to like cover this whole dinosaur. Dragon, interesting, dragon butts. Might have given myself an idea. There's a lovely green. Yours could be darker or lighter. If you do want to darken your green, add some more blue, little bits at a time so it doesn't go too dark. If you want to lighten your green, more yellow. There's a lovely green. Now I would like to add a little bit of, I'll probably add a little bit of white into my green, not a lot, just a little blobby, to make it just like a little bit more, not pastel, but really any color that you want to do your dinosaur. And you can test it out. Put a little bit of green on there. See if you like it. Yeah, that's a pretty good green color. And then we'll paint the whole dinosaur one shade of green. Your edges don't have to be perfectly straight. We're going to be adding black outlines. We're adding shading. So it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth all the way around. But we do want our paint to be a thin, even coat, no thick globbies. Remember, that's kind of my motto, my mantra. No thick globbies. Any shade of green. Yeah, and if some of your sky gotten onto your dinosaur, we just cover that up with the green color. Get that tail coming down here. A lot of blue tail, but we just cover that right up. Thin, even coat, no thick globs. Just smooth those all out. And don't forget his baggy trouser legs. They don't have to be perfectly straight legs either. They could have a bit of like muscle, like lumpy shapes as muscle. And it'll be hard to tell right now, like what part is tail, what part is leg, but when we kind of do black outlines, it'll be easier to tell like what part is tail, what part is leg, because they kind of are crossing over each other Where does the tail end? Where does the legs start? The black outlines will help. There we go, nice and smooth there. We gotta get the head. And everyone's dinosaurs are going to be different, whether you have a thicker neck, longer neck, different color. And I love seeing all the different variations. There's a lovely green shade, kind of like a lime, like the outside of a lime. And I just like to smooth everything. Some visible brush strokes still. Later we're going to add like lights and darks, highlights and shadows, messily visible brush strokes. So even now, if there's kind of little messy bits, that's fine. That is okay. I'm going to give my brush a little rinse. And again, if you want to work a little bit longer on your green dinosaur, filling that in, just hit pause. Hit pause and then unpause, play when you're ready. Let's see if people look to the link. Okay, yeah, so it's like, it is at the top of our page. So I think people will be able to find it if they go back to our page. It's like at the top there. That's good. That's reassuring to me. Excellent. I'm going to make a lovely shade of orange for my next, my Triceratops. If you have a pre-mixed orange, you could use that, or follow along and make some orange, or whatever color you want. If there's a color that you're thinking of, but you don't quite know how to mix it, just drop a line in the chat and I'll walk you through the color you're thinking of. So same with the green, we're going to use a lot of yellow and a little bit of red. The red and the blue are very, very potent. So here's a little bit of red. Here's my yellow. Red plus yellow is orange. Go darker, add more red. If you want to have a lighter orange, have more yellow or something in between, nice medium. That's kind of cute. I do also still want to add a little white to it. Just makes it a little bit more pastel, but not pastel. We don't want pastel, but just lighter, more opaque too. That's a good orange. Give it a little test. Test it out. If you like it, good. Keep going with it. I think I want a little more red, just to darken it a bit. A little more red. Oh yeah. It's a richer orange. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to fill that in. Again, I'm going to kind of round out his body where some of the blue sky kind of went on his body. Cover that up. Make him round again, make him oval again. A lot of his tail got some accidental blue on it. We're going to cover that up. accidental blue. The legs. Some of his legs are covered up by the green guy's tail. So just do your best to have a little bit of the leg showing. Little feet. His little feet are poking out of the bottom still. Little feet. Even if it's a little messy around the edges, as I said before, it's okay because we're going to have black outlines. And those hide lots of little mistakes. Happy accidents. Oh, I forget how many bumps I made. Yeah, I just made some more bumps. Little lumpy bumps. I think I made it extra. That's okay. Yeah, he has a lot more bumps in his frill than I think my original sketch had. That's fine. Okay, there's my orange. Okay. And we are going to make some brown. It is possible to make brown with the primary colors, but if you had like a bottle or a tube of brown, use that. It'll be like a much nicer, like richer brown. But yeah, I'll show you how to make kind of a baby poop brown. It's not always a nice rich like chocolatey brown. Hi Pamela, good to see you. Okay, again, if you need to pause and fill in your orange dinosaur, you can. So brown, you could mix red and green together to make brown. You could mix orange and blue together to make brown, or you could mix like purple and yellow together to make brown. I find it's also possible to make brown to mix orange plus a little black. So think Halloween colors. So I do have some orange still from the orange dinosaur. If you still have some orange, use that, or a little bit more orange. Yellow and red to make some orange, and then add a little bit of black at a time to brownify your orange, but just a little at a time. You don't want to go too dark right away. So orange plus a little bit of black. So mix that in there, and it's turning browner. I'm going to get a little bit more black, little bits at a time. Little bits at a time so it doesn't go too dark. And I don't want a very dark brown. I want kind of a medium, not too dark. I don't know what color. Do we really know what color dinosaurs were? No. They could have all been blue for all we know. Not likely, but okay, so there's kind of a brown. Again, I could test it out. Do I like it? It's pretty good. I am going to cover up those, what did we call them? Those plates, those baby carrot shapes. Because even though we sketched them out and we took time to sketch them out, it's still in our brain. So we still know where those are. So when we go to paint those later, we still kind of can see it in our mind's eye. There's a swishy tail. That oval body. And you could add, if you want like a lighter brown, add a little white. Like I added some white to my green. I added some white to my orange. You could definitely add a little white in here. Or if you want it more of a warmer tan, maybe add some yellow. It doesn't have to be the same shade of brown as me. Those thick, baggy legs, rounded heels. The black outlines will also help kind of show us where his little tail goes, where his legs go. Round him out a little bit. Yeah, cover up some of the blue that got on there. That's pretty good. While I still have brown on my brush, I'm going to add a little white to make it just lighter, and I'll paint the dirt, or maybe it's sand, maybe it's mud, a little bit of white, and make like a lighter brown, any kind of color for the ground. Maybe you want them on grass. You could put some green down here for grass. Just a lighter shade of brown. Yeah, and the edges are kind of messy, where the foot meets the ground. The black outlines will solve all your problems. Yeah, if you need to bust out a smaller brush to get into some smaller areas, you can definitely do that. There's a little bit of, is it sand? Is it mud? Who knows? Again, no thick globbies, just all smoothed out, flat. That's kind of cute color. You know what? While we do still have brown on the brush, we could have some brown trunks getting started. Why not? We still have brown on the brush. Any shade of brown, light, dark, brown palm tree trunks. So I've got 2. Maybe you want to do 3 or 4. Maybe you just want to do 1. And they don't have to be very big. Let's have one that's going maybe to about there. Any thickness, any angle? Do you want it more droopy, more straight? This one's coming in this way. Anywhere. Any thickness. And just smooth it flat so it dries. No thick globbies. Yeah, maybe about like that. Any number. Maybe you have much more room than me and you want to do much more. Go for it. Okay. I think that's all the brown we need. So now we can give that a little rinse. I do want to have kind of like stegosaur plates, but I want this to be much more dry before we add those so we don't get smear city. Don't want that. I think I will move to shading and highlighting green, then orange, then brown, because you kind of want to work on the one that is most dry. And the one that's most dry is the green one, because we did that one first. So up to you if you want to use your medium or your small brush. Messy bit. If we look at the green guy here, we've got a little white, a little yellow as like the highlights, but messy, visible brush strokes, streaky, kind of wispy squiggles. Here's some darker green for some shading, even some black. There's a little black here, a little dark green in here. But yeah, a little bit messy. See, it's a little messy, and it gives it kind of like a texture, because I think they would have kind of bumpy skin. I think they would stay there. So do you want to use your medium or your small? That's up to you. Okay, I'm going to start with, well, I guess we can go with some lighter white/yellow. So even if, yeah, my green is mostly dry, even if it is a little wet, a little tacky, as you add, like, say, white, and it turns a little bit green, that's actually kind of cool, because the highlight of him would be kind of greenish. So a little bit of white on either small or medium, and think about where the light would hit his back, his tail, his head. I'm picturing my light source is the sun, and maybe it's coming from the top left. Maybe the sun is coming like this. So maybe the sun is hitting him on the back and a little bit on the left side of his body. But just kind of messy, scribbly kind of application, almost a dry brush even. And yeah, my white is turning a little bit green. And I'm not mad at it. That's a cool effect. So there's like along his back, along his side a little bit. You know, he'd have a little on the top of his head up here, going down his snout. It's messy. It's slightly greenish. He might have a little bit of white highlight on the left side of his neck, because if the sun is coming here, it could just kind of hit him right in here, right on that neck, on the left side of the neck. See, messy, wispy streaks, very thin, almost instantly dry because it's so thin. All right, now we have to kind of visualize where his tail is. If your pencil marks are still a little bit visible underneath the green, you can kind of see where your tail was. But I know that my tail was somewhere around here, and it came down. So this is the left side of his tail, this side. And then this other half of his tail will be darker. So we'll do that after the white. So there's some messy white along the left, but also along the top of his tail over here. Oh, welcome back, Susan. If you just found me, you can set the playback back too, remember. So a little bit of white streakies along the top of his tail. And then if we're really getting into it, maybe a little bit on like the left side of his leg. I didn't really do it on that one, but if we're picturing some sun is hitting him on the left, a little on the left of the legs. So that's some white. I do also want to throw in just like a little bit of yellow in amongst that. So even with, my brush still has a little white on it, a little yellow plus a little white, just a little bit. A tiny bit of yellow, tiny bit of white. And then just throw a little yellow even on top of some of your white. I'm putting a little yellow. I've got yellow on his bottom lip. So let's just put a little yellow on his bottom lip there. even a little bit here, tiny squidge here, just on top of the white, next to the white, just a little smudge, a little streak of yellow. But really, it's so subtle you could even just skip it. Okay, lovely. We'll pretty much do the same thing that we just did, but with darker green. But this time we're going on the right of things and like the underside of things with a dark green. So I do have some. So I'll turn some of this green darker by adding some blue. If we added, say, black, sometimes people's like instinct is to add black to darken something. It would darken it, but it would be like grayish. You get a nice like an emerald. Let's say that's emerald green. It's rich green. Just anything that's darker than the color you have here. Again, we don't need a lot. It's like almost a dry brush effect. You could even like wipe your brush on the edge just to get some of that paint off there. So we're thinking about where the shadows and the darker areas of our dinosaur would be. So along the right side of his body, streaky, wispy, messy scribbles. Okay, so remember where your tail kind of goes, right here. So that would be darker. Right along there. See, now it looks like a complete tail. Starting to get there. And then, yeah, the underside of the tail will be a little darker. Streak some of that on there. The right side, right and bottom of his feet. So right along here, maybe under the heel a little bit, right along there. These little feeties, these little footies. Okay, where else would be shadow? The right side of his long neck and his head. The right side. Mine's messy. Mine's streaky. It's thick. It's thin. It's wispy. There's texture of the canvas showing. It's all good. Where else? Where else? I'm thinking like under the chin and like to establish that jaw, the jawline under here, and then a little bit here so that kind of has a jaw, a little jawline. Start to get that in there. Okay, and I don't know where else. Maybe under his butt a little bit here. Yeah. Kind of messy, but starting to get that 3D feel a little bit. So I'm going to hold off on like adding like the black lines for now. We'll do all the black lines like all at once. I will put on his white part of his eyeball. Yeah, an eye shape. I think we all know what the shape of an eye looks like. Like the shape of a leaf. Shape of a leaf. White. And we'll add the pupil later. We'll add the outline. And we'll add like nostrils and stuff later. Maybe like a little eyeball like that. The shape of a leaf, I would call it. Good. So we'll do this, but we'll do this on the, what's the word? Triceratops and the Stegosaurus. But let's look at this guy. He's doing pretty dry. I do want to add my plates. The plates, and I guess those little spikies. So yeah, up to you if you want to use your medium or your small for the plates. I think I might go medium. Lighter or the color of your choice. You're going to do green. So we've got some brown from before. Maybe you've run out of brown. Remember, some orange plus a little black to make some brown. And do we remember what our carrot shapes looked like? Our carrot-shaped plates. Like a baby carrot. There's 2. Do 6 or maybe 8. They can definitely overlap each other. They could touch each other. They don't all have to be completely separate from each other. Running in 2 rows down the back onto the tail a little bit. Do I want 2 more? I'll do 2 more. I've got 8. And again, nice, thin, even coat, no thick globbies. We want this to dry speedily. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, we'll outline those, we'll highlight those. And then I will add my little spikes, the spikies that got lost in the background there. I'll do the same color, that lightish brown. You can have them going in like crazy directions, overlapping each other. Just a very spiky tail. There's some spikies. Okay, now we can highlight and shade we'll do the Triceratops, the orange, and then we'll do some browns over here. So same steps, we get a little bit of white, and think about where is the sun going to hit him on the back. So his back is here. The sun would hit him along here, a little bit down the left. Can you still see the sketch of your tail? If you can, that's good. If you can't, just remember how it curved like this. So this is the left side of his tail because the sun is coming like this. And then also maybe a little on the tip here. The sun would hit the tip of the tail like that. The sun would also maybe hit some of these little frilly bumps. So maybe this bump. I did like these ones, but not these ones on the right. We'll leave those for the darker. And then what else am I thinking? I'm thinking we could do a little on his legs. Left side of the leg. But really, if you wanted to skip the legs, I think they'd be kind of in shadow, just how big his body is compared to his little legs. But I did put a little smudge. And then I will add a little bit of that yellow. We had a little blend of yellow and white together. It's just nice to put a little smudge of yellow for some color on the white, next to the white, just here and there, a little smudge. So we did dark green as the shadow here, shading. On here we could go dark orange, we could go brown, we could go red as the shading. Up to you. I still have a little orange from before. Here's some of that orange from before. Orange, I'll add a little more red, darken it. But even if you wanted to use brown as your shade color, let's give it a little try here. Oh yeah. A little bit more red. That's good. Oh, this is my tail. So just reestablish where your tail is right here. This is his body going into leg down here. A little bit of red. Even a little on the foot, like under the heel. Oh, a little on the remaining little lumps of the frill. Yeah, even with just a few brush strokes, he's already looking more 3D. Where else? Maybe a little in this little corner. Could be a little darker there. Under his bum. Ooh, a little bit on the tail here. Maybe in this little corner. Yeah, just wherever you think a little bit of darkness would happen. I even put a little bit of darkness like kind of on his frill back here, because maybe there's a bit of a texture back here, but it's definitely darker back here than not, because the frill is facing away. A little darkness right in there. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do on that guy. Yeah, this is getting drier, but even as we add some white, maybe a little yellow, and it turns slightly brownish, that's fine. That's okay. So same kind of steps. We get a little bit of white, a little bit of white. Our sun is still coming from the top left. So maybe just a little bit of his back there, a little bit along his left side, over on the far left side here. Left of the leg. So his tail is coming down like this. So I'm picturing some white along the top of his tail like that. And I did even put a little bit of streaks of white kind of like on the middle. Ooh, the little tip of it needs a little white. And then the plates, the carrot shapes themselves. So smudge a streak on the left of each one. Mine are still wet. It's a little bit brownish. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. Boom. Left side, left side, left side, left side. Boom, 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 boom. And they're starting to pop out at us more. That's good. Okay. Again, I will add a little bit of yellowy white, little hit here and there. On the white, next to the white. Just a little smudge wherever on the plates, sure, on the tail, sure. Just a little hit of yellow just for color. Oh, I forgot my spikies. My little spikes need a highlight. I'll just do it in yellow. The tail spikes, they need some depth too. Yeah, I just put some yellow on those tail spikes. White or yellow. And then the shading on this one, darker brown. So we have brown already. We're going to add black to that to make it darker brown. And we don't need a lot. You don't need to turn your whole like brown into a darker shade. Just a little puddle here. Just a smudge. Here's a little darker. Maybe a little bit more black. There, so it's darker. It's not, but it's not black yet. Still very far from being black. Okay, so again, oh, maybe even darker. That was pretty close to my original color. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so the right side of things, the right side of his body, underside of his tail. Right side of his legs and bottom of his heels. Under his bum. Maybe it's a little darker in this little corner here. And then I will put little bits of this darker brown along the plates, just one little streak. And this time it's on the right side. There, starting to look more 3D. And really, you could leave your diagrams like this and not outline them in black. They don't have to have black outlines. I will add my little horn tips, little tips of horns. I've done these kind of like a lightish yellow little horn tips, yellow plus white. But if you want to do red or orange or green or black little horn tips, whatever you want to do. Do you want to do one on every little frill bump, or do you want to have like three, like one in the middle and then two big ones coming out the side, like a triceratops? Let me try that. I'll do three. I'll do kind of one big one here, and they don't have to be perfectly straight. They could be a little bit curvy. So I did like three to make it seem like a true triceratops. But yeah, there's an option with more. Here's an option with just the three. I will take a little bit of brown on my brush and do a little bit of a shadow on one side, but they're really thin, really small. If you want to skip adding a shadow on the one side, you can skip it. Okay. Let's add, we need highlights and shadow on our palm trees. And I like to give it like a little bit of texture to make it seem like bumpy, like palm tree bark is bumpy. So I've got like a darker brown on the one side. So we have some dark brown from over here. Still have some of the dark brown. There it is. Oh yeah. And I just kind of messily even dab. You can squiggle. A messy, squiggly shadow. That's the shaded side, right? Because the sun is coming from over here. Same with over here. Messy, bumpy, scribbly. Give it some texture. Messy. It's jutting out. Messy, messy. And then do you still have some of your lighter brown from earlier? I still have a little bit lighter brown, but you can even take some white with your darker brown and mix it and make a light brown again. Light brown, maybe even a little yellow. Yeah, put a little yellow. But this time we're going on the highlighted side. And again, a little bit messy, scribbly, jagged. Light brown. Mess it up. There we go. And then I will add just a little bit of white. Zion says he likes the Dino Butts thing. Love it. Yeah, all the Butts series. I don't know if Zion was at the beginning when we were showing all the other Butts paintings. If you do like the Butts paintings, you could paint another butt painting like tomorrow or another day. They're all online. So I've got some white here. White. I'll just add a little bit of white to the very side. And it could be wiggly squiggly again. It could turn a little bit brown because it's touching the wet brown. Turned a little bit brown. That's okay. And on this one, a little bit of white blobbed on there. Nothing fancy. We're gonna add some more texture with black lines on there after. Those scraggly palm tree trunks. Very scraggly. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. Good. So I would like to, let's work on the palm tree fronds themselves now and really flesh that out. And then after that, we just have to kind of blitz the black outlines on everything, which are optional. You don't have to do the black outlines. Okay. Palm fronds. Come here, you. Yeah, you can see mine are not perfectly thin. There's some really thick bits. There's bits that seem bent and jagged and broken. Yeah, there's some where maybe there's only the little leaves on one side and not on the other side. That's okay too. You can have some that are hanging really droopy. They're broken. They're dying. Little palm fronds. And I've got one coming out of his face here. He's having a little munch, a little lunchtime. Up to you if you want to use your medium or your small brush, whatever you're comfortable with. Now, if you are going to use like a medium, something like this, like a medium flat is what I'm using to get those thin lines, because I'm not going to do the palm fronds wide like this. I turn the brush so it's the skinny way, and that's how I get thin lines using like a medium. You don't use it the wide way, you use it turned. So up to you which small or medium brush you want to use. I'm going to go light to dark. So I'll start with like a lighter green, then a darker green, and then we'll go black. So do you still have some of your lighter green from earlier? If not, you can mix some more. So yellow with a tiny bit of blue, because we want a light green, think like lemon lime color. I like to add a little water if I know I'm going to do like thin lines, a little water, mix that in a little bit. So then as I'm doing the thin lines, it comes off my brush a little bit easier. It's more fluid. I think that's a good color. Really any color. Palm trees are lots of different colors. If you want to do a purple palm tree, go for it. I would love to see a purple palm tree. So I'm thinking, think of the palm tree head like a spider. I don't know if that visual in your head, but these are the spider legs coming out. And we can have some like going close to our dinosaur, even touching the dinosaur. That's fine. Have some coming back this way. So I'm just kind of doing the spine of each leaf, and then we flesh them out. How many do I want? And yeah, you can have ones that are maybe they start going out this way and then maybe they snap, they go down like that. So that's like 7, 8, 6 of those. And then from those spines, then we kind of flick, 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 flick. Smaller lines from that. Flick, flick. We start at the spine and flick out so that the tips are thinner. Flick, 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 flick. Some of mine are thicker, like that's a nice thick one there. They don't all have to be the same. And take up a lot of the room that you have. Use up as much space as you want. Yeah, this one's getting really close to that guy. They could have like a bit of a curve. And again, you don't have to do the smaller flicks on both sides. It doesn't have to be on both sides. It could just be on one side. And we're going to layer dark green. We're going to layer black. So this is not the final look. Experiment with your small brush. Experiment with your medium brush. See what kind of effects you can get. I'm going to put a little leaf hanging out of his mouth. This one's smaller than my other one. Maybe he's munching on this one for a few minutes now. Ooh, a golden colored stegosaurus. I love that. That sounds amazing. Golden color. That could be the true color of a stegosaurus. We'll never know. Okay, so there's some lovely light green. Let's do it again over here. And it looks kind of bare. It looks kind of sparse, but we're going to flesh it out with more colors. So again, I like to add a little water to make my paint a little tiny bit more liquidy. And your palm trees might even touch each other, depending on how much room you have. You can definitely have them crisscrossing and touching each other. Flick, 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 flick. Yeah, palm fronds can be very sparse, can be very dense. You can have some pretty straight ones, long ones, short ones, snapped off broken ones. I think the key to a realistic looking palm tree is not perfectly perfect. Don't have it perfectly symmetrical, everything all evenly distributed. Have some really sparse ones, some really dense ones, some like dangling down, like half dead ones. Okay, that's pretty good for now for the one color. I'm gonna get my darker green going. So remember, if you want to darken your green, add more blue. More blue, more blue. Not black, because otherwise you'll get like a grayish, greenish, not good color. Okay, a little bit of water. Yeah, so this is quite a bit darker than this green. You can put like completely brand new palm fronds and layer them, or you could put some of this green on some of your existing fronds just to like give them some more depth, or do a combination, some new ones, some on the old ones. Like I'll put a little dark green on the one that's in his mouth. So the one in his mouth has some light green and some dark green on it. He's chomping on it. Yeah, starting to fill it out more. I'm still leaving some like air space. Keep it kind of light and airy. Yeah, this could be some like in front of the trunk itself. Yeah, so this one's already looking like nicer, bushier than like this one. It's looking a little sickly. Cute. All right, let's do that again over here. Another color that would be nice in amongst your palm trees would be like yellow. You could just do straight yellow, blue, or like a teal, like a greeny blue would look nice. Peppered throughout. Okay, is that enough dark green? I think so. That looks good. Okay, so really the only other color and thing we need to do is like all the black outlines of things. So again, if you don't want to outline everything, It does give it a bit of like a crisper look, like it's more 3D even, a little cartoony, but that's kind of my style anyway. That is kind of my style. So of course I'm going to use my thinnest brush for outlines, and my outlines are definitely not perfect. There's thin bits, there's thick bits, there's wispy bits. There's gaps where I've missed some places. It doesn't have to be perfectly even. And then I've even added maybe a few extra butt wrinkles. A couple more butt wrinkles here, like leg wrinkles. I added a bit of a palm tree crisscross texture. I just kind of made X's, X, 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 all the way down the tree trunks to give it kind of like a texture. We're going to do, you know, nostrils and an eye on the long neck. Okay, how can I? Yeah, there we go. So my thin brush with black, straight black, but I like to add a little water. Again, it's like a little bit more spreadable. A little bit of water mixed in. Start wherever you feel like starting. I guess I can show you this guy's face. So I do have 2 nostrils visible. 2 nostrils, and then kind of like a half a smile. He's chewing, right? He's not cracking a huge smile. This is like his jaw, I guess. His little chin. We have some neck wrinkles on his neck. Okay, and his eye. So we had kind of like a leaf shape eye. Let's outline that. Or however you want to do his eye. Do you want like a googly eye? And then I've got just a black pupil. Do you want to give him like an eyebrow, eyelashes? Do you want to give him a mustache? Sure. Put a hat on him if you want. You can design your own dinosaur painting. Yeah, you can see my black line isn't even truly on the edge. But from a distance, it looks great. But if you look up close, you'll see I'm not perfect. You don't have to be perfect yourself. There, so there's the long neck. You could give him some extra wrinkles, extra little bits of lines here and there for muscles. Whatever you want to do. A couple extra wrinkles. Give him a cute like little eyebrow. Yeah, doesn't that guy just like pop from the background more than like these guys? That's why I just like to do like a quick, fun little outline. And then when I did my Triceratops outline, I kind of made him a little lumpy, bumpy lumpy, because maybe he wouldn't be perfectly smooth. Some little lumpy texture. Made him a little bit lumpy. Let's go around this frill. Those little tiny horns. Not even my horns are perfect. Here's my black line, but the brown appears to be outside of the line. Whoops. Not a big deal. All right, all these plates. I think I'll start at the bottom plates and work up. Yeah, if you start at the bottom and work up, then like each next one you do can be like tucked kind of like behind the previous one. If yours overlap, mine certainly do overlap a little bit. Yeah, not symmetrical, not in the least. That's okay. And the legs. Now you can certainly be taking much more time outlining things, taking more care. I just like the kind of sketchy, loose feeling of my pseudo attempts at outlining things. Up close, from a distance, yas. Oh, the ground. I did do a little bit of an outline on the ground. Is it sand? Is it dirt? Is it mud? You could add grass. You could add rocks. You could add all kinds of things. Dinosaur footprints. Even we could do some messy lines like texture. It's been trampled and scuffed up. Messy. You could even do like a little bit darker, like near their feet, shadow. extra scribbles. Something like that. You can speckle in some other colors, streak in some other colors. And then I do want to add that crisscross pattern on my trunks. And then some black in the trees, just to kind of have some nice dark tones in there. And that's pretty much done. Okay, so I'll do some crisscrosses. Like X's, X, X, X. I pretty much just do all of my diagonals going one way, and then do all my diagonals going the other way. And there's thick ones, thin ones, wispy ones. And then I might put a little bit of extra black down the shadowy side. A little bit extra black darkness down the dark side. Little squiggles, little wiggles. And then I'll get some black palm fronds. Yeah, just keep most of my black like towards the middle. Not too much going too far out. This is like the most dense part in the middle. Yeah, just kind of, I clustered it kind of right in there. And I put a little black on the one that's in his lips. He's chewing on, so that one has like all three colors. Light green, dark green, and black. Right in there. I think that's it. I think we got all the details in there. You can always add more highlights, shadows, texture. You can add, what if you want to add polka dots? You know, little, maybe he's got blue dots on him. Add some polka dots. I'm sure maybe some dinosaurs were stripy to kind of blend in with their surroundings. There could have been stripy dinosaurs. Give us some stripes. You could do a bird in the sky, or maybe a pterodactyl perched in a palm tree, or some footprints on the ground, dino footprints, dino eggs somewhere there. What else could you add? Maybe a volcano has erupted and there's lava spewing everywhere. Anything you want. Put a bow tie on him if you want to be like fun dinosaurs. Put the sun in the sky. Put the clouds in the sky. Ooh, maybe some prehistoric bugs. Invent some bugs. Anything at all. I gotta sign it. Any color, I use a color that's already in my painting. And you could sign your whole name or just your initials. Or maybe some kind of symbol that represents you. I just do the initials in the bottom. You're welcome, Vicky. Yeah, it's too bad that the video's in 2 parts, so I'll have to go back and like relabel and put the description back on the second part here. So I'll probably name the first video Dino Butts Part 1, and then I'll name this video Dino Butts Part 2, kind of thing. Let me show you some upcoming events with me. If you like my style of teaching, if you like my style of art, maybe you want to join me for a future event. Remember, there's all the different butt series paintings already available on our YouTube channel. I think you do a search for butts. All of them should come up. All right, future events with me. This is coming up on the 21st, April 21st. Rabbit in a watering can. We got florals, we got a watering can, we got a rabbit, acrylic on canvas. This one's a Zoom event. Tickets on our website. Lean that there. I do also teach a lot of the watercolors. So we've got some nice springy watercolors coming up. Here's a couple coming up with me on Zoom. This one over here is Nature's Wreath in watercolor. Tickets on our website. Everyone who gets a ticket also gets the recording, the thing to keep forever. And this one is a tiger striped tree frog in watercolor. Tickets on our website. That's coming up. Let me check the date on that one. April 28th. April 28th is that one. April 14th for the egg wreath, Nature's Wreath. Let's show you some more upcoming stuff. More on the drawing side of things. Kind of a Mother's Day thing. Mother Otter and her little kit. It is a pen drawing. You could add color to it too. You could add paint or ink or pencil crayon. But I'll walk you through the drawing. That one's coming up in May, before Mother's Day, May 5th, May 5. And this one is a mixed media, like sneaker pop art, we called it. You could use paint, markers, pencil crayons, pastels, acrylic, watercolor, whatever you want to use. Everyone knows a sneakerhead in their life, right? So that one's coming up on Zoom. Tickets on the website, May 19. And I'll show you one more here. That's One Cool Zebra. It is a watercolor. May 12th, I want to say. Yeah, May 12th. And it's called That's One Cool Zebra in watercolor. Tickets on our website. Yeah. We love putting on these free events for you guys all the time. And a way to support us is to buy tickets to our events once in a while, to our Zoom events, to help support us. And we will keep giving you guys lots and lots of free stuff. More butt series. Definitely see that in the future. Yeah, safari butts, barnyard butts, woodland butts, frosty butts, dino butts. How many more before I run out of ideas? I think someone had suggested cats in the last chat. I do have some cats in the frosty. I do have a cat in the frosty butt. Has a cat with like a snowflake butthole. Yeah. Vicky says the Zooms are fun. Yes, it is fun because we could talk more, and you can like hold up your work as we go. Yeah. Any questions about this? About any of the things I just showed you, any of our events, anything about art, any questions at all. Let's see if I can scroll up a little. I don't think there was any questions in there. Yeah, I'll have to fix the titles of these videos to like make it make more sense, because people who will tune into like the first Dino butts and then it gets cut off and they're like, where did it go? So if I put part 1 and then part 2, it'll make more sense, I think. All right, we did real good for time. Real good for time. Yeah, I'd love to see your paintings. I'll put, let's find the link. We have a group, a Facebook group, Artist Palette Painting/Drawing Support Group. Here, paste, there we go. There it is. Yeah, join our little group. Very supportive of one another. Yeah, show off your dinos, any other done with us in the past, drawings, any events. We'd love to see them. Any questions? Nope. Okay, guys, I'll let you go. It's been a good 2 hours this evening with you, and I love doing this. I can't get enough of the butts. More butts are in the future, definitely. Yeah, no more questions. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Thanks for bearing with me with my technical issues. Have a good night, guys. Happy painting.